Hello everyone and welcome to a safe space. Today we're talking about unproductive thoughts and why they're keeping you stuck. This is something that so many of us experience, especially if you have anxiety, depression, social anxiety, but even if you don't have those things, I think that a lot of people can relate to this video. What are unproductive thoughts? Unproductive thoughts are, basically thoughts that are not serving you or your growth and that are keeping you stuck in the past, that are keeping you anchored into the version of yourself that you no longer want to be. Examples of unproductive thoughts are replaying past events, such as replaying a situation over and over again that was traumatic to you, or even, replaying your awkward interaction the other day over and over again that you just can't get over because you feel ashamed about it. They can also be creating scenes in your head that aren't helpful, such as thinking about something really negative happening to you for no reason. Unproductive thoughts are also worrying about worst case scenario. Obviously, it's good to be prepared, but it's also not productive to just constantly worry about the worst case scenario because you don't actually know what's going to happen yet. So there's no point in consistently worrying about it. And also fixating on your flaws. Those are also unproductive thoughts. And those are all the ones that I wrote down, but if you think of any other type of unproductive thoughts, please share them in the comment section below so that we can become more aware of all of these different types of unproductive thoughts that do come up. So why do we even think these unproductive thoughts? Because obviously it doesn't really make sense, right? It's kind of insanity when you look at it from an outside perspective. Personally, I'm a very self-aware person. I often say that I'm almost too self-aware for my own good, and I catch myself thinking these unproductive thoughts so often, and I just get frustrated with myself, honestly, because I'm like, what is the point? Literally, what is the point? Why are you doing this? This is not helping you in any way, shape, or form. But there's definitely no need to criticize yourself for doing this because that would also be more unproductive thinking. So don't do that, but we're gonna get into what you should do when these unproductive thoughts come up. We're gonna get into that in a second, but before we get there, I want to explain why we have these thoughts and how they're keeping us stuck. Typically, we have these thoughts mainly because of subconscious programming. I talk about this concept all the time in my videos, so I don't want to go too in depth about that. But basically, it comes down to limiting beliefs about yourself and about life that you developed that can kind of control your life now if you are not aware of them. And I would also say that we often have these unproductive thoughts because of an unconscious addiction to suffering. And if you're watching this and you're new to that concept, you're probably like, Sierra, why would I have an addiction to suffering? Why would I choose to suffer? Well, here's the thing, you're not consciously choosing to suffer. But if you've gone through experiences in your life that caused you to suffer, then you may become, in a sense, addicted to suffering without even realizing it. When you create those stories about yourself in the world, then you find reasons to continue to validate those stories about yourself in the world. So you'll unconsciously look for more suffering. I'm just realizing now that I should probably make an entire video on that concept alone because that's kind of a lot, okay? We're not even gonna dive into there right now, but hopefully that was a somewhat helpful explanation. We also think these thoughts out of insecurity, obviously, or fear. Okay, so how are these unproductive thoughts keeping you stuck? This could be really empowering to know because you might not even realize how much these unproductive thoughts, how often they're coming up and how much they are actually keeping you stuck in the past. They are quite literally anchoring you into the past and not allowing you to create change and to create a new future for yourself. First of all, it just wastes time. There are many, many other positive things that we could do and positive things that we could think about. Not promoting toxic positivity either. Obviously, it's very important to recognize what we are going through and feel through that. And let's take a breakup, for example. It's so important to go through that healing stage when you do allow yourself to think about all of those past memories just so that you can let them go and move on. What would make it unproductive is if you continued to replay those past memories and wouldn't let them go, because that would prohibit you from moving forward and from focusing on yourself. So I just want to make that clear. There's always disclaimers in my videos because I'm always scared that people are going to take what I'm saying the wrong way, and there's always so many different ways to look at things as well. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Hopefully Also, the way that they keep you stuck is they keep you at a low vibration. When you think these negative, unproductive thoughts, you just feel heavy, you just feel dense. And because of that, you attract more of those outcomes rather than the ones that you actually desire. If anyone here knows the power of visualization, well, you're basically visualizing things that are sabotaging you. Instead of visualizing something that you actually want for your life, you are visualizing things that consistently bring you pain. So you're just going to bring more pain into your life. It also takes from your energy and it leaves you with less energy to create and to make change. So getting into the positive part of this video, the light at the end of the tunnel, we do not have to be a slave to these thoughts. We do not have to be a victim to our subconscious programming. With awareness, we have power. If you start becoming aware of each time these unproductive thoughts come up, you can choose to shut it off. Don't even finish the scene in your head. Don't even finish the thought in your head. Even if you were mid-sentence, shut it off. Just stop it. Once you start becoming aware each and every time these things come up, then you can start interrupting it by bringing yourself back into the present moment, noticing your surroundings again, coming back to life, coming back into your body. And it might be hard because you have an addiction to the suffering. You have an addiction to this programming, an addiction to thinking these unproductive thoughts. So you definitely might feel resistance to shutting it off, but you have so much power in that awareness alone. The other thing to do is to start visualizing desired outcomes. For example, maybe next time I accidentally get caught in a loop of thinking of an interaction in my head of when I was awkward and making me feel even more ashamed and embarrassed, maybe I can snap out of that thinking and then start visualizing myself being confident and charismatic when communicating with others. So then we're going from unproductive thinking to very productive thinking. But everyone's journey is different, so I'm sure that you relate to this in your own way and you probably already know what types of thoughts are holding you back. We can also notice how ridiculous this unproductive thinking is and honestly laugh at it. Like, it's so funny that we will just sit there and replay an old movie in our head instead of being in the current movie of our lives, or the fact that we'll just sit there and think of an undesired outcome rather than a desired outcome, or that we'll fixate on our flaws instead of the good things about ourselves. Like, it's honestly so ridiculous, but as I said, we shouldn't criticize ourselves because obviously we're never choosing to do this. And this is something that we all go through. I'm sure most people go through this. But it's just nice to be able to laugh at it, to just notice how ridiculous it is. And I believe that over time, if you do start practicing these things that I talked about in the video, that you will start to have these unproductive thoughts less and less because you are aware of the programming and notice how unproductive it is. Thank you so very much for joining me in today's video. I really hope that this resonated. I really hope it added value to you. If it did, then it would mean the absolute world to me if you gave this video a like or commented down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you are also on a journey of healing, becoming your best self, or you would just simply like a safe space to come back to every week. I would absolutely love to have you here. But other than that, I really hope that I see you in my next video. Sending you all the good vibes, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, because you can if you so choose to. Okay, bye!